Hi, my name is Maxwell, and today I'll be going over how to make trails in ArcGIS Pro for whatever mapping purposes you need. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is open up your project and go to wherever you're going to be mapping the trails. Now, I recommend turning on the imagery sublayer or base map while you're doing all your mapping, as it just makes it so you can see the actual trail from the sky, and it makes it so you have a little bit higher chance of being able to map it without having to do any in-field work. But once you're located where your trail is and you're ready to get started, you're going to add a polygon notes map or polygon map notes through the layer template. Now, this will create a layer for you to actually make polygons in. And to map our trails out, we're just going to be making tons and tons of polygons and then merging them together. So just like making a normal polygon, we're going to go up to the Edit tab, then click Create. And we're just going to start making polygons. Now, I'll use this area as an example. What you're going to want to do is zoom in as close to the trail you have as possible and create a polygon right around the outside edge. Right on the edge of the trail is the best possible location for you to place it, as it's the most sort of accurate once we end up coloring and doing everything else. Sorry about those Teams notifications, but we're going through right here. And once we reach a point where we're happy about it, let's say after like a minute or two of work, you're going to jump over to the other side. You're going to want to stay on the same side of the path that you've been working on for the entire time that you're doing it. Now, we're going to reach a little split here, but there's an easy way to deal with that. We're just going to go down this one side, loop across, and then just finish it out this way. So, as you can see, the polygon on that one end is sealed off. And we're just going to go through here really quick, loop around here. On any rounded corners, you're going to want to do more vertices. That just makes it a little bit more fluid of a shape. In something easy you can go back through and fix after. But we're just going to go like this. Gaps like that I just like to jump across. But we're going to go right up here, just like this. Make it nice and even. And then we're going to click the Finish button. And as you can see, we have our first part of our mapping polygon already done. If you notice, we've this section down here that still needs to get done. But this is the general idea of what we'll be doing to make these trails in Arc Pro. Now, I'll show you how I'm going to connect something like this. So, just because of the way that this method works, you aren't going to be able to completely cover this entire sort of like circular area or triangular area with one polygon. So, we're just going to do two passes at it. We're going to jump down just like this. Let's just say that we want to cover this area. We'll jump right across here. And then we'll finish the polygon out just like this. And if you notice now, we have two overlapping polygons that basically forms a trail. Now, we want one polygon for the entire trail. So this isn't really going to work, and we get these ugly sort of section lines. So to solve this, we're going to go up to Modify. In the Modify Features tab, or panel, we're going to go down into Construct, into Merge. And we're just going to shift-click both of these and then click the Merge button. This will combine both polygons into just one, making it so we have one consistent trail. Now, you're just going to continue this process for the entirety of whatever trail that you're going to be doing. But For some projects, it's going to be a little bit harder because you might be mapping trails that don't totally have like an unobstructed view during times of the year, or you're not going to be able to see them at all. So what my strategy for that is switching out the base map. Arc Pro has one basic imagery layer it will provide you, but you can get separate Google Earth imagery layers by going through the portal. So I'm just going to go through that right now. So let's say that there's a big tree right here, and I need to wait until winter or just some time where there's less leaves to actually see where I should put this polygon. What we're going to want to do to get around that is we're going to want to first go into our catalog pane. So right now I don't have it up, so we're going to go into View and then open the catalog pane. Now, here's the next thing we got to do. We're going to go up into Portal, and we're going to click the ArcGIS Online option. It's this cloud with nothing in front of it. This will let us search for all publicly available ArcGIS Pro layers that anyone has uploaded. And luckily for us, pretty much everybody is uploading Google Maps imagery layers. So all we have to do is type in Google Maps right here. As we can see, we have tons and tons of different Google Map layers. So let's just double click on Google Satellite Web Map, add and open, and we're going to give it a second here. So I'll be back when it's in. Okay, that was actually really quick, so I guess I didn't have to do that. But if we look now, we have a completely new Google Map satellite web map. It opened in a separate project, which is fine, but really all we need is this Google aerial layer. So we're going to copy this, move it back over to map, and we're going to paste this in. We're going to want to put it underneath our polygon notes. But as you can see, we now have a different base map to go off of, and wow, it does look a little bit different. When you're using a different web map, things might shift off a little bit from just the regular imagery layer, but that's just something to keep in mind. It's a good reference point, and it's something you can always trim up after. But that basically covers how I go through and make a trail in Arc Pro. I can also go over right now how you can symbolize these trails to make it a little bit easier. So the first thing that I like to do is rename my polygon notes to something different. So to do that, you're going to click Properties, and then change the name right here. So let's just change this to Baker Park Trail. Going to click Apply. As you can see, it's a little bit easier to tell what we're working with now. We can also do that with the actual polygons that we make. Let's say that I considered this the main trail, but there's some other side trails that I might want to symbolize the same way as everything else, and I don't want to make a separate polygon layer. What I can do is I can open the attribute table and name these separate polygons that I made a different name. Let's change this to Main Park Trail. Now we have an actual name on our trail, which I don't think looks too good, so let's just turn that label off right there. Now, to symbolize these trails, it works like anything else. Just open Symbology. You can pick whichever option you like. Let's just choose Landmark/PUI. You can see. Ooh. I think I did too much there. But as you can see, we've changed the symbology, and now our trail is yellow. Personally, I use a pretty standoffish color or standout color when I'm marking trails, just so it's very obvious in my layouts, but you can use whatever works best with your map. Anyways, that's all I have for you today on how to make a trail in ArcGIS Pro. Actually, one more thing. I've gone over this in the polygon video, but to move around when you're making polygons, just hold C and then pan around. Easy shortcut. And Control Z will delete your last vertice. But just want to get that out there. If you have any questions or any problems, leave a comment below or reach out. I'm happy to help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great one.